Greetings, folks. This is Mason Weaver, host of Stay Right or Be Left. Outspoken for over 35 years across this country, but this is the most important speech I've ever given. It is time for black people to stop supporting the Democratic slave masters, the Democratic poverty pimps, the Democratic spirit of hatred on you. It is time that we began to defend ourselves. That's why I've started an organization called Leave the Plantation. It is up to us to walk away and to leave it. It's not up to them. Every problem we have requires master to do something, that's a slave. Every problem in your community requires somebody else to do something, that's slavery. That's dependency. We are strong individual people, we're families, we're contributors to America. It's time for us to stand up for that. Our history in this country, the system we came here under, the system of bondage first took away the man and took away the woman from our family. So we no longer had loyalty to our family, we had loyalty to the master. We kept saying things like, don't forget where you came from. Well, you came from slavery. They never say, don't forget where you're going, because that's an individual journey. They will say, give something back to your community, because the slave community was what master wants you to pay attention to. They never say, give something back to your family. They hate you, they exploit you, they take advantage of you, and they raise your kids to worship and work for their kids. It's up to us to stop this. The Democratic Party is the natural enemy of black people. It is the natural hatred of black people. The Democratic Party has been the spirit of slavery. It's been an exploitation of black folks since their inception. It's what they do. It's who they are. It's like an abusive man, that woman. He will beat your behind till you leave his behind. And unless we stop whining and worrying and allowing them to influence us and leave that, we're going to be enslaved. Our community is going to be in terror. Our kids are going to be on drugs. They're going to hate us. We have no protection. We expect that master Democratic Party to take care of every problem that we have. So, folks, let's talk about the demons, the Democratic Party. Sure, they take care of you. A sheep herder takes care of his sheep, but he doesn't love his sheep. He loves rack of lamb. So you have a pimp who takes care of the prostitutes. He does not love prostitutes. He loves the money you bring them. So the Democratic Party own every ghetto in America. Are you tired of it now? Have you had enough yet? They own every ghetto in America across this country. And all you've gotten was poverty and drugs and gangs and bad schools and no jobs. All you've gotten for 50, 60 years is misery and terror. And you keep voting for them, you keep supporting them, and they're probably pimping leaders, and you will continue to get the same thing until you get enough. Have you had enough yet? It's the same spirit. The spirit of Democratic Party is the same spirit of feudalism and serfdom and slavery and abuse, getting you to work all your life to support them in their lifestyle, to getting you to sacrifice your children to the altar of liberalism, getting you to support and defend your abuser. That is their system. And on the plantation, they took the man out of the home and led him to support master, become the breeder, to get rewarded. So the slave's best job was the breeder, and the female could not be protected by that man because he couldn't protect her. So his ego was busted, so he had to give up that manhood and begin to serve master and brag about how many kids he had, and he could not look at that woman as a female. He had to call her out of her name and degrade her down to a level he did not need protection. And we're still doing it today. We're the only community who got bitches and hoes as part of our language. We're the only community whose songs sing about our lowliness in the community, our hopelessness in the community. Who else could do the blues but black folks? We still living in that past. We have escaped that plantation and got tricked back on a mental plantation, keeping our kids subjected to the horrors of liberalism. Leave that plantation. The spirit of slavery takes away your goals for your family. The spirit of slavery takes away your ability to even think about success. Success in the black community is how many folks are on the food stamps. They call it success. Success, the Democratic Party calls success is how many babies you abort. Success to Democrats is how much you need them in your retirement. But we do not have to live that way. I want to have an organization that's going to free black folks. You see, slavery, it's the spirit of freedom gone away. Freedom, the spirit of freedom is an individual standing up for his own prosperity, his own legacy. He's leaving his children. You always hear them talk about minimum wage, but never maximum wage. They talk about low-income housing, never high-income housing, because every problem you have requires master to do something. That slave had to go to master before he went to town, before he ate, before he went to bed. He had to go to master when he was cold and hungry, like your child does you. The master treated slaves like children. The Democratic Party are treating you like children. If you had enough, you better stand up and act like an adult, because they will never free you on your own. So we have a group. It's called LeaveThePlantation.org. Leave the Plantation. We're going to gather folks together. We're going to gather people who want to go to freedom. We're going to gather those who want to learn about freedom. We're going to gather those who have an idea about freedom. We're not going to talk about those who want to debate it. If you want to serve that master someplace else. If you want to sit up under those renegade, non-Christian preachers in your neighborhood and you know who they are, then do that. We're a spiritual organization because spiritual Christianity is the only pathway to freedom. If you don't like that, stay home. This is about people who want to go to freedom. It is called Leave the Plantation. It's right after my book that I'm almost 20 years old now. It's okay to leave the plantation. Join us. Join us. And let's go to freedom. Because folks, it's up to you. This is February. The liberals call it Black History Month. Leave the Plantation organization, we call it Black Future Month. Stay right or be left. Eternity is a long time to be wrong. And we waiting on you. Take care now.